Hi, it's me, Ryder. And today, I thought it'd be nice to record another more rambling type audio. It's been a while since I've had the chance to just talk to you guys, say whatever off the top of my head. I guess since I have the opportunity, I just want to start off by thanking all of you. The channel has gotten really, really big in a fairly short span of time too. Definitely far more successful than I ever would have thought it would be. And so I want to thank each and every one of you for making that possible. Thank you. Thank you. And now on to the video. So, to start off, I thought I could share a bit of my history when it comes to art. I started drawing when I was fairly young. I had drawn traditionally for the longest time. Just on paper with pencils, since that was all I had access to, especially considering I was a kid. I always enjoyed illustrating. I guess I just liked the process of taking something that existed only in your head and putting it into a visual form that others can see. And I always found it interesting using it as a storytelling medium, say in like comics or graphic novels. I grew up reading a lot of graphic novels, and it always made me kind of want to create my own one day. I thought that would be kind of fun. As I grew older, and I was online more often, I began reading webcomics, and I think that the idea of webcomics was always appealing to me, because, the ability to just kind of post what you create without necessarily having to worry about publishers or anything like that. You can basically just make whatever you want. It wasn't until, even though I was drawing for a pretty long time, it wasn't until I got my first drawing tablet that I sort of began taking art and drawing more seriously. That was when I felt like I could really make something out of my drawings. I remember being kind of insecure about it when I first started. I felt partially like I wasn't a real artist because I wasn't doing things traditionally. I rely on Control-Z like a lot of other digital artists, and that's not something that you have access to if you're drawing traditionally. But I think that's a bit silly to feel like you're a fake artist. If you put the effort towards creating something, you're just as real of an artist as anybody else. And you shouldn't let other people tell you otherwise. If it's something that you feel insecure about at all. I think the notion has kind of died down recently. With how common it is to find digital artists, but also the tools that are now accessible, if you know what I'm referring to. That allows people to just create artworks that don't actually involve any or little to no human input, unfortunately. For the longest time, I had tried getting my friends into drawing as well when I started. I was probably a little bit annoying about it, but I was younger. I just really like seeing people make stuff. I love seeing, like, if people put their full effort into something, like what they would make, what would come out of it, you know? Unfortunately, not much was made from these efforts, but I mean, I still tried. Yeah. I just always think that's so cool, seeing what other people like use as a creative expression. I think everybody is probably a lot more creative than they think that they are. And that's why I feel like everybody should kind of try and have some sort of creative outlet. Like, if it's not illustrating, then like writing music, or I guess just writing in general as well. There's a lot of different ways that one can express themselves. I feel like it's just, I don't know, good for the mind, good for the soul. Having an outlet like that, because we're all gonna have creative thoughts anyway. We should try to express them. When I first really got into drawing, like when I got my first drawing tablet, I really let it consume my life though. Like, it was unhealthy. I definitely don't advise that. I would literally spend all day drawing. While my sleep hours might not be too crazy for some people, it was very different than what I'm used to. I would wake up and like I would wake up in the afternoon, immediately turn my computer on, and start drawing. Maybe while I was starting up, I would go grab myself a cup of coffee downstairs, and then I would just draw for the rest of the day, only taking short breaks to like go grab some food if I got too hungry. And then I wouldn't stop till well after midnight, because I would just get too invested in whatever it was I was drawing. I was extremely dedicated. I don't know, I look back at that time, and like, it was at least, like, I grew a lot from that, like, artistically, which I'm thankful for, but it's definitely something I would never want to go back to, because it was not healthy. I just didn't really have much else going on at the time. And my friends, I mean, a lot of times they just like play games together. I was never a big fan of like certain online multiplayer games. Like, my favorite types of multiplayer games are ones where they aren't like competitive, or anything like that, or like horror games. I don't really like horror games, honestly. I just enjoyed multiplayer games where everybody could kind of just do their own thing, because that's more often than not what I end up doing. that's not really the type of games that my friends were interested in. So they'd be playing stuff that I didn't really want to play, so I would just draw instead to keep myself occupied. Sometimes I'd like be talking to them like in a call. Sometimes I'd stream myself, but they didn't watch all the time, unfortunately. Which is whatever. I guess you can't really force people to be interested in stuff that they just don't really care for. Like, if they don't really want to draw or watch me draw, up to them. Especially, like, the only friends that I know now who really make stuff, it's not because of me, it's just something that they always did. I had stopped drawing for a while, actually. That's one reason why I'm happy that I started this channel, because this sort of provides like an excuse or a reason for me to draw again, because I make my thumbnails. And my thumbnails so far for the videos have all been ones that I'm pretty proud of. That's why you'll see me post them like on a community post before the video comes out, because I'm just excited to show off the art. It was something that I knew I was gonna do from the start, like when I first started my channel, because I feel like if you're gonna start making a channel and like especially use it as like a form of expression, you're gonna want something that feels like it's uniquely you, that helps you stand out. So I knew from the beginning, like, yeah, I was gonna draw my own thumbnails and that sort of thing. There is a particular inspiration for that, which is kind of funny. I'm sure, some people watching, or I'm sure a lot of people watching are familiar with the channel Oni Plays. I watch them sometimes, but something that I always liked was the thumbnails for the games that they play are all unique, and they'll get like guest artists and stuff to draw them, and it really makes their videos stand out a lot. That was just something that I liked, because the people running the channel are artists, I believe. So I decided I should do that too. Like, I draw, I might as well try making unique thumbnails for each of my videos. And if I can, it's fun getting like friends of mine to like feature their art as my thumbnails. Like I did recently for the cowboy video. A friend of mine drew that for me, and it looks amazing. I was very happy with it, and I just had to show it off to all you guys. I've had some people showing interest in like sending me fan art and stuff. I'm sorry that I don't really have a way right now of receiving fan art. I plan on it soon for you guys to have a way to like reach out to me if you just like want to show off anything that you make, or for any reason, really. you guys will, of course, will be the first to know if ever I do make anything, or if ever I create a way for you guys to reach out to me. But for now, I mean, there's always, like, if you wanted to, I'm pretty sure any channel can make community posts, if I'm not mistaken. So if you ever have anything, like, in the moment that you just really want to show me, you can always just post it as a community post on your channel and leave a comment letting me know, and I'll absolutely be sure to check it out. But only if you want to. You don't have to. For people interested in, like, getting into art, I guess some advice that I can offer. First of all, I want to say I'm not an authority on anything, ever, and I would never claim to be. I'm just somebody who likes illustrating just in my free time for fun. But some advice I can give from just my own personal experience might work for you, might not. I think for me, I was always kind of my own worst or biggest critic when it came to what I created. That could have been because I was very apprehensive about, like, showing it off to people, so not many people had a chance to, like, see it and critique it. But I think it's good. It's good to have a healthy amount of judgment and criticism for your own art, because if not, it's easy to stagnate. You should always try new things. Always push yourself to reach into territory that might feel unfamiliar or scary for you. And whatever it is that you're really passionate about drawing. Like for me, you'll see me mostly drawing people. I just really like drawing people. I'm not good at environments and stuff, but I try really hard to get, like, a deeper understanding of the human body, since that's what I like drawing the most. Speaking of backgrounds, actually, that's something that I definitely need to practice more, because I am awful at it. You'll see most of my thumbnails are just, or a good amount of my thumbnails use either photo reference or just straight up like a photo off of Google Images. I'm not ashamed to admit. If ever, like, your art is sourced from elsewhere, like if you reference something heavily, or even, like, use pictures, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, as long as you're open and honest about it. I see people feeling ashamed because they, like, use a reference and they're like, oh my god, I'm basically a tracer, and it's like, oh my god, no you aren't, you don't have to worry. Like, obviously, there's levels to it and stuff, but like, using heavy reference, especially if you're just practicing, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just be honest about it, what you're using and what your intentions are with it. A lot of what I learned when it comes to art actually came from studying other people's art, actually. Just other artists online that I like. I've never really had any, like, formal schooling when it comes to learning how to draw, and I don't think most people need that either. if drawing is something that you're interested in, you should just give it a go. Take whatever you have. Just do your best. I see some people who worry that since they don't have like the best possible equipment, like a good tablet or a fancy computer or something like that, or an expensive art program, that they can't draw. That's absolutely not the case. Everything that I do, everything that I'm making currently actually, I use a very old, very cheap computer. It takes like 20 minutes just to start up. My tablet has no screen on it. It's just black. I have to look at the computer to see what it is that I'm doing. Which is nowhere near as hard as it might seem. Like, I hear people being like, oh my god, that looks impossible. That's absolutely not. It might just take a little bit of getting used to. Once you do it, it's very simple. And my art program that I use is free. I use a free art program. So yeah, don't let the lack of resources get you down. Even if you don't have a computer, or you don't have the money for a drawing tablet, or anything like that, like, there's nothing wrong with just drawing on pencil and paper. That's what I did for the longest time. If you want to draw, just give it a try. And keep at it. And be patient with yourself. And do the best that you can. I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're drawing right now, I hope that your piece comes out very, very wonderfully. And if not, then I hope whatever activity it is you're doing goes well. And if you're relaxing, I hope you get some very, very